Good morning. It's Monday morning. This is Dave coming to you from the Hobo Dojo, and just having a cup of coffee. I noticed on my last video that I never actually got the coffee to my mouth. I was like, drink it, drink it. um, anyway, I just wanted to tell you guys that I've had a little health issue. Last Thursday, after working 3 really long days at a house over in Los Feliz district of Los Angeles that I was working on, um, I had worked 3 10-hour days back to back in order to get a job done so the homeowner could leave. And maybe I was a little burnt out, I don't know. But I did some writing in the coffee house Thursday morning. I wrote a little essay which I posted on Facebook and then also on the YouTube community tab. I don't know if you guys have been over there. We just discovered it ourselves, and I put a little piece of writing over there the day after Halloween, and which was Thursday. And then I came, so I posted it to Facebook and to YouTube community, and then I came home. I took a little nap, and then I went out and did a bunch of errands. And I came back and I just opened up Facebook to see if anybody had looked at the essay I wrote and what they were thinking. And I looked at this piece, and it was as if a stranger had written it. It was the scariest thing. It was very strange. I thought, what is this? Did somebody take my essay down and put one that's kind of the same but not the same up? It was like looking at you see like in a horror movie where you look at your kid and you go, that's not my kid. It's a pod. It's an invader. It was this very odd sensation that something that my piece had been taken out and something kind of like it. I mean, the plot was the same, but like none of the word choices seemed like anything that I had made even lately. None of the sentence structures seemed familiar to me. And in general, it just was very disorienting. So I called the two closest women in my life, my great friend Alexia and the woman I'm dating, Jackie. Called them, and they couldn't make much sense out of what I was trying to tell them. I kept repeating things, and I didn't know really even the basic stuff, but they were telling me to call call 911 or get myself to urgent care or something. And I didn't even know what urgent care meant at that time. I tried to look in the phone book or on my phone. I was trying to look for, I couldn't remember from minute to minute what I was looking for. I couldn't remember the names of any of the local hospitals. And finally I just got scared. I was thinking about my brother and how he had died 2 years ago alone at home and with nobody there to see him. And he was leaving the house. He had his car keys. When my brother-in-law Jerry found him a few days later, he was near the front door, just laying fully dressed with his car keys in his hand or near his hand, in his living room. And he had apparently had some kind of distress and was heading out and probably taking himself to the hospital. If I know my brother, and I thought, you know what? It's too important. Life is too important. So even though I had stupidly allowed my health care to lapse, I thought, well, this is going to cost me a fortune, but what good's having money in the bank if you're dead? So I dialed 911, and they came out and got me, and I walked out to the front. I don't really remember why I did that or what I was thinking, but I left the dojo wide open. All the lights were on. It was afternoon. I don't know why all the lights were on. I just found that out later when a friend came by to shut the place up for me. And anyway, next thing I knew, I was in the emergency room, and I was being tested by some doctors who realized that there was something wrong with my brain. And physically, I was good. I didn't have any problems. I didn't have any speech problems or anything like that. It's just what I was saying, although quite clear, was nonsense. So they admitted me, and I ended up in the stroke ward of Huntington Memorial Hospital in Pasadena, California, which is a very, very good hospital. And they took really good care of me for the next 48 hours and absolutely insisted that I stay on until they figured out what the problem was. They thought they'd found a blood clot in my. I got all kinds of tests, including these a sort of an ultrasound on the carotid arteries on my neck. Also an echocardiogram, which is the same thing, it's ultrasound for your heart. I'd had a CAT scan. I also had an MRI. I'd had a number of all kinds of lab work, and they came back and they said, we think we see a clot, a blood clot in your carotid artery, and we need to go in closer with another MRI and really bear down on that area and find out if in fact it's a clot or just a little bit of an anomaly due to the you know, kind of the architecture of the veins and how you know, the inaccuracies of ultrasound. So, oh boy, I'm thinking I'm such a cheapskate, and I don't have that much money in the bank, and I'm really trying to save, you know. And I walked around the floor a little bit. I was getting ready to leave. They were gonna cut me loose, and so I'd already had a physical therapist come in and check me to make sure I was safe to be on my own. I wasn't likely to fall or something. And I'd gotten the okay on everything, and then the doctor came back and said, no, we need to take a closer look. Don't leave. Don't risk your health. And so I did. I thought about it, and I said, okay, of course, I'll stay on. We'll let you guys do your job. It takes them a while to really, you know, look at all these images. So I gave them the time they needed, and they came back later, whenever that was. I lose track of time. But they came back Saturday evening and said, yeah, you're good. You can go. You're fine. Your heart is healthy. Your veins are clear. And there is no blood clot that we can see. So nobody knows exactly why I had this little, what they call a TIA, the Transient Ischemic attack. It also could have been global, what do they call it? Temporary global amnesia, which is kind of a variant of the same thing. For some reason, part of the brain gets starved for blood, but not enough to cause any damage, and the effects wear off in around 24 hours. So anyway, I'm back. I'm feeling fine. I'll post that. It's a little bit more in depth of the story of this thing than I can tell off the top of my head. But if you want to look at that, it'll be over. I'll put it over on the community page, and I'll be doing some writing. I do a lot of writing, and I post it on Facebook, and I'll start posting it on the community for any of you guys who of our BCL page, for any of you who might be interested in that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm scheduled, as some of you know, to go out to the desert to camp with the van nomads and do the great big annual van build, where I'll be working on people's vans and getting to know a lot of different people out there. Looking forward to that very much. It's an escape from me. But it's also, I will be making a few videos from out there. Jason is working very hard, as you know. Thank you for your support of his last video. It's difficult for both of us to make videos right now because we're so busy with other stuff. But anyway, thank you all very much for your support. And tomorrow, of course, Tuesday, is voting day. So I will be sticking around in town at least long enough to vote. And probably I'll be here for the next few days because I just want to make sure that I'm not going to stroke out. You know, even though they've given me a bill of sale, I'll get one of those once I pay. But I've gotten a good bill of health. But still, I'm a little nervous. You know, this stuff doesn't happen to you where you wake up, where you find yourself in the middle of a normal day, out of control of your own brain. So I'm still a little bit nervous about driving out to the Arizona desert, but I think in a few days I'll feel solid and I'll go ahead and do it. And then you'll see some postings from me from out there. Anyway, I've talked long enough. Let's get out there and vote. Bring somebody with you if you can. Maybe somebody who's a little disheartened. I don't think we get disheartened. I think we are more likely to get mad lately than disheartened. We've spent our time being the disheartened and ignored minority, and I think it's time for us to be the confident, gracious winners for a while. I think the nation needs conservatives to be in charge for a while again. It's been enough crazy change stacked on top of other crazy change, stacked on top of ill thought through change. So let's try to keep as much of the House and Senate as we possibly can, so that Mr. Trump will have the ability to live out the rest of the mandate that we sent him with to Washington. Anyway, that's it. It's 10 minutes, and I am done. I am out. Thank you for your attention.